I seem to remember about 3 or 4 years ago, there was a lot of stuff going on about how the Russians altered our elections, and there was a lawsuit, because they were coming in, and I'm not sure, as I said, I seem to remember, and putting stuff on Facebook and all over the internet, whatever they used, I don't know. And they were saying, oh, they swayed the people. They swayed the people. And I remember thinking, well, that's a bullshit argument. I mean, aren't we all educated? Aren't we? Here, at least in this country, other places I've been, not quite so much, but in this country, we're educated from the start. We're being, modeled. And in the process, we're given all the tools we need to find out if somebody's bullshitting you or not. And, except psychiatry. Not everybody that needs psychiatry gets it. Most of the people that need it the most don't want anything to do with it. You couldn't even try to talk to them about it. You have to work them in your own way, I suppose. Sometimes that can take years. And, but the fruits of your labor, they'll pay off. Psychiatry. These people need serious psychological help if they don't have enough confidence in their own skills, and maybe they're just a bit too unachieving. They feel like somebody made them feel that way once, and so they don't respect their ability to look something up for themselves. We're in a time right now where you can get everything but what they won't tell you. And so there's a start. And so you get these people who are just believing everything they say. Well, I just read something and I believe it, because it's true. That is interesting. What I'm getting at is that all this time ago, people should have been figuring things out for themselves instead of believing their neighbor or some other stranger that they've never heard of before sending them something. Well, their neighbor's the one forwarding it, and they're going, look what's going on. And so you're like, oh, yeah, okay. If you argue with your neighbor, disagree. By arguing, I mean if you have a polite conversation which shares your ideas without anybody having to get aggressive. And if it ever gets to the point where it's about to get aggressive, you're able to say, okay, we should stop this now. And if they won't stop, you keep acting like that, and you just keep needling them. And needling them, and you can see them losing their fucking minds. And then they attack you, and you get fired. Fucking neighbor, get the hell out of my yard. I didn't even ask you to come in here with that petition. Walk right into my backyard like you know me. And then attack me because I drove you to it. You've got no self-control whatsoever. You need to be outed. Punked. But, and it's legal because it's self-defense. You have, the minimum force necessary to stop the onslaught. You do have the right to call it self-defense when your neighbor attacks you because they don't like what you say, or how you look, or how you giggle when he's looking at his leaf blower. So you got that 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I guess we learned something from that. Shouldn't be expecting anything to be coming around this time, they got a hold on it. It's a perfect excuse to actually censor us, I suppose, but, well, if the people can't figure it out for themselves, then they need help. Something like this, something as important as an election, it should have its own brand of information sharing. Give us the truth. Hack out the bullshit. But you really can't, because the Russians are your neighbors. And so now suddenly I'm getting this damn thing. What's it say? It's I'm going to even do it in the accent it must be, because I look and I say, "Them cities are burning. Crime is rising. Your security is on the line this November." And I go, whoa. And I don't read any further, because I don't know if they're trying to draw me into something. This all sounds like unadulterated pep to me. They didn't even spell "them cities" or "burning" right. "Them cities." Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I just realized. I thought it was just a bunch of hillbillies. Well, not really hillbillies, rednecks that were putting out these messages. You know, hillbillies, nothing wrong with them. Hillbillies wouldn't want anything to do with a whole election anyway. They're sitting out there, they're like, I'll just, burn the wood I cut off the neighbor's property and eat the deer I poach and keep drinking out of the well, even if it's got something bad in it now. Poop in the garage. That's how we grow up as hillbillies. But when I say redneck, it's a hillbilly that's gone bad. It's somebody that has no idea what the fuck's going on, and they're full of hate, and they're putting all that not the fuck knowing what's going on with hate together, and they become dangerous. I realize it's supposed to mean democratic cities, but why can't you just write democratic cities? Because you read 1984 and you think this is going to work? You're saying, well, in 1984 by Orwell, they abbreviated all the words. They cut them all down. And they went, and here's a perfect example. They went from Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's not in the book, it's an example, to KFC. To where in the next generation of kids, nobody's even going to know that KFC stands for Kentucky Fried Chicken unless they're bringing it back with the Colonel. They won't even let that guy die. But they're cutting down all our words. So eventually, we won't know what the hell they're talking about. I watch medical commercials for pills on TV, and I sit there and I look and I'm going, there's nowhere in there they say the active ingredient. They say ACH or something, and it's like, now I've got to do fucking conundrums. I got to go with these puzzles and the words and try and figure out, which A is it standing for? What goes with the C and the H? Well, what the hell? You're in trouble. They don't tell you anymore. So even if you know what the words are that they stand for, you don't know what they're talking about. You cannot assess the situation for yourself and say, well, I think I've actually been wrongly diagnosed. Again, you know how you keep from getting wrongly diagnosed? You just don't give them your money. Don't go to them. Be fast. You got to be fast. You gotta be fast and strong. Even if you don't believe you are, you just pretend you are. And pretending is such a wonderful game. It's almost hypnosis, and you become that strong. You get bigger. You just whoa. Or if you can't do that, you just stay really skinny. How do you see yourself? That's how yourself sees you. But they say security, so they're cutting all the words down. Security, they say And I think, doesn't anybody have firearms anymore? Security. Who are we being secure from? I don't even want to open it. I'm sure they say it in there, but they use a fictitious character, I'm sure. I don't need to. I've got things to talk about. I don't have time to read. But it just seems to me, I see a lot of people signing up for firearms at the sporting goods store when I go to buy propane. And walking down the street, coming back from the mechanic, the one day I was just looking and I was like, too bad I didn't have the thing. I was talking right before that about a tree getting chopped down, and I shut it off. I was done. And I walked by the firearms store. And when I say a lot of people, that's not, you have no right to say, oh, you're not using it right. If you're going to say a lot, it's got to be like a car lot or something. These people were out in the parking lot all over the place, filling it in line 6 feet to get in there and get either firearms or ammo. I saw a lot of ammo being bought too. And the funny thing is, if you're somebody that's worried about your security, I'm willing to bet those people are the people you're afraid of. These people didn't look like you. And I was like, oh, wow. It's going to be good. So when I see something like that, them cities are burning, crime is rising, your security is on the line this November. You know why? Because I turned 51 in November. That's 3 degrees of 17, the prime number. The age I was when I went into the military and lost my virginity. That 17 is a big number. Maybe your security is under, I don't know what's going to happen with all this. The point is, it sounds to me like the Russians. I get the feeling it must be the Russians sending all these messages out because they know it worked before. And, we don't learn from our mistakes. You know the only people who learn from history are the people that alter it. The dictators. The slave owners. They freed slavery back in the 1800s. Why? Because it was cheaper to put everybody to work. Give them their own house. Let them feed their, that's it. They housed their slaves, they fed them. And that was a very good business maneuver if you're learning from history, is that you can send them out there and let them pay their own way and still show up to work. And it's going to be cheaper for you. Never mind that you're still running slave labor. So yeah, we don't learn from our mistakes, but whoever it is that wants to be in charge is very attuned.